Well, good early morning to you. It's 1:30 a.m. here in Central Texas in the United States, and hope you're having a good day, night, evening, wherever you're at in the world. Um, what we're going to do is go over a little known aspect of a component that can come in handy sometimes, and that's the panel component. It's a simple component that has a caption, but that you can use for, say, a header control on maybe a database application. And that will give you the opportunity to put in a string of information about the particular record that you're on, say, name, phone number, date of birth, those kinds of things. So let's get started. And at the end of this, I'm going to give you a challenge so that you can test your uh, test your wheels on this. So let's get started. Go to Delphi here, project one. And you see what we've got here is the main form. It's called modifying panel text properties. It's got a panel component. It's got an edit one component and a button component. And also, as you can see down here, it has a font dialog, which is a non-visual component. So we just generally hide that, and we'll do it that way. So now what am I talking about? Let's run this and see. No errors. Here we go. And our panel one component comes up with the default values. I think it's 8 or 9 point text. It's a standard system font. And a lot of people think that you can't do much with this. Well, we're going to prove it different. So let's put something down here in the edit one text box. I'll just put my name. And then I'm going to press the button 1, bring up the font dialog, and let's change the font. Let's say Rockwell, and we'll use bold, 12 point, and you see it's changing here on the sample. And we'll change the color to, we'll say red. Now that, and then click OK. If I press cancel, nothing happens because it only fires if the dialog is executed. So here we go again. We said Rockwell, bold, 12 point, and red. Click OK. And there you have it. We have red font, Rockwell, bold, the text from edit one text, being as the font dialog was executed and properties were changed. So let's see how that's done. One more quick look at this. We'll go try Times New Roman, bold italic, 18 point, and I'll say green just for Google's. And there you have it. So, initially the panel component doesn't seem to be that useful because the text is pretty static. It's set to a thing and you don't really have any control over it. Well, that's not true at all. So let's look at the code behind. Go here to the code. And you see what happens if font dialog want to execute. That means it wasn't canceled. Then panel 1 caption equals edit 1 text. So we replace the panel 1, which is the caption, panel 1, with edit 1 text, which in my case was Robert A. Davis. Panel 1 font name gets set to the font dialog 1 font name. And the style elements are turned off. This is where people get tripped up, because if the style elements are all turned on, you really can't change anything. But if you turn them off, you can change pretty much everything that the font dialog has in it. So then you see we have font style equals font style, font color, font size. So this is where people are a little intimidated, because it doesn't seem like you can change all that. I messed around with this for years, and finally figured out the system elements was the problem. So if you turn those off, you can change pretty much any property that you want to. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about other properties you can find. But here's my challenge. This, let's say we run this. We've got things set at design time for the font dialog when execute. But let's see when we run this. It's back to normal. There's no persistence. Everything's their default values on the panel 1. So the challenge is this. You guys come up with a way, and you can look through some of the tutorials on my site here and find a clue to this. Come up with a way to make the panel 1 changes persistent. In other words, from one run to another, it saves the changes that you made, and it opens up with the new changes and closes down with the new changes, and that the object properties are persistent. So come up with that, and then let me know in the comments just briefly what you did. I'll give you a hint. You can use an INI file, or you can use the Windows Registry, or if you're really a sucker for punishment, you can write your own text file reader writer to save those properties. Additionally, there are some turbo power components in the where is it? Tools here in the Get It package manager that can save form states and almost all the components as well. So you can dig around in there too. But the challenge is come up with a way to make the object properties persistent between executions using either a registry file or an INI file, or if you really have to, a text file. And that's it for this. We'll give you one more quick look. We'll pick something radically different. I have a ton of fonts. Let's see. And Rainbow Cupcake. We'll try bold. 14. And teal. And then you see when I close this down and then reopen it, they're not persistent. It goes back to the default values of the properties in the component. So make that persistent and give me a shout out in the comments. And also, when you do drop a comment, let me know whereabouts in the world you're writing from. Be interesting to see who's where. So I appreciate the time that you spent with me. Um, we're going to shut that down, close this. Oop, close this. And there we go. And I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thanks for being with me again. My name's Robert Davis. Talk to you soon. Bye.